Like that.
And don't worry about my
Now,
earlier comments. I'm gonna we'll drop the full ones in the clips for
what you
sure.
what you was telling me earlier, P, about the what text message you sent me?
Oh, so um one of the viewers
Mm-hmm.
we got a lot of comments. Now, I will say this, that full episode, that's
Mm-hmm.
like the most interaction we have gotten on a video.
Is that right?
I'm not talking about the views, but remember when you saw it, you was like, man, people is talking
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
responding. Yeah. So the interaction of the community, that's the most that we got. So even though I know people, hey man, pause it and come back to it. Do whatever you got to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we will drop the clips as well. But there's something for everybody is the point. But one of the viewers who watched the whole 2 hour thing and said hey man, they was chilling. They was at the gym. It was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the end, we was talking about qualified listeners and uh, people not knowing the difference of if they, when people have the bad habit of talking to people who are not qualified listeners. And then I said,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if a person doesn't understand what I was saying at that point, then they one of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they one of those people who are not qualified listeners, and they shouldn't, And so, and they contacted me and was like, first of all, shout out to them for the donation because they made a donation um, to No Cap, which was big. We are always accepting donations, as I said on the last one, just like every other podcast. Um, and they said, they was training back in the day, and the person they was training with told them it's basically these 3 phases of competency, and it's unconsciously incompetent, consciously incompetent, and consciously competent. I'll say it again, and uh, basically, and I'll break it down what that means. But unconsciously incompetent, consciously incompetent, and consciously competent. So let's start with the first one: unconsciously incompetent. Basically, ignorance. Ignorance is, we use it in different ways, but really what it means is not knowing, right? Being ignorant of something means not to know of, have any understanding or knowledge of. So unconsciously incompetent would be someone who doesn't even know, they're not even aware that they're not competent in a certain area, right? It's not even on their radar. It's not something they could believe that they are doing something great. They could believe that they are, you know, okay where they are, but they're not wise to the fact that they are not wise. They just are oblivious, right? They have
Right.
no idea that they are lacking in that area. Now, consciously competent or consciously incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, this is actually really all of them are both of these are terrible. But consciously incompetent is somebody who knows, they're aware that they're incompetent in the area, and they make the conscious decision to remain incompetent instead of going out and learning, um, educating themselves, training themselves in an area of weakness. Like I say, identify weakness and train until you make it a strength. Someone who is consciously incompetent, the opposite of unconsciously, they are aware, but they just don't care. They just don't give a fuck. They are okay knowing that they don't know something, but they'll still put bad practices into habit and say, here's a good way of summing up. You'll hear people say this a lot of times. I know they know what to do, they just don't.
Mm. Right.
And
If you knew
and
better,
a
you'll
lot of
do
people
better, but you do
and
know better.
yeah, and a lot of people will say that often. They'll be like, "Oh, I know what to eat, and I know I shouldn't eat this, but I still do. Or I know not to drink this, but I still do. I know what to do, I just don't." And then the question becomes, well, why? I actually talk about that in my book. Like a person consciously making a decision to do something that they know goes against their goals. And then their defense, it's a defense mechanism when they stand on it and say, "Oh, I know what to do. I just don't." It's defensive. They're being defensive because their vulnerability is showing and they're covering up a wound like a band-aid. So consciously incompetent is a person who knows, who says that they know at least, and is choosing to purposely stay dumb. Now, consciously competent is someone who is aware and they are knowledgeable in the fact that they have this knowledge in a certain area and they practice it. They are very wise.
Your mic is kind of going like it's like got like a static to it. You went out. I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. You still can't hear nothing you're saying. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, still can't hear nothing. You're doing sign language. No, we still can't hear you.
Got it.
I can hear you now.
All right. It's a short in these damn earbuds I have plugged in.
It sounds better just like that.
Yeah.
That's how you should always record.
Yeah. No, it was a short in the little cable I got I had put in there. So unconsciously incompetent. I'll start over just in case any of that was cut out. So unconsciously incompetent, again, is an individual who is not aware and they're oblivious to the fact that they're unaware in a certain area they're lacking, and they are just out here doing whatever, giving advice, and unaware of their area of weakness. They're just going along, floating along with no awareness. They're unconsciously incompetent. Consciously incompetent is a person who is aware that they're weak in the area, but they're choosing to continuously be weak in that area. And like I gave the example of someone saying they know what to do, they just don't. And then you have the level that you would hope everyone would want to be at, which is the most positive, which is consciously competent. So being aware of your strengths, being aware of areas of improvement, and also the same. Now, consciously incompetent could also be a positive thing, because a person who is consciously incompetent could be aware that they're incompetent in an area and make the conscious decision to improve in that area. They don't have to stay incompetent. The worst thing to do would be conscious that you're weak in an area and then a person chooses to stay weak in that area, as opposed to the wise thing to do, which would be aware that a person is incompetent in the area and work on improving. And so consciously competent is knowing your strengths, using those strengths, and if you are incompetent in the area, improving and making that a strength as well. So like I say, identify a weakness and train and make it a strength. Some people are not even aware.
Yeah, man, you know better. You knew better, do better. You know what you're supposed to be doing, do it. And
why not? So why do people choose to say defensively, I know what to do, I just don't?
They just don't care. Some people just don't have the drive to see nothing through. And since they don't have the drive to see nothing through, they'll tell you whatever the hell they want to tell you to get you off their back. And when they do things like that, they think they're hurting us by doing it, but they're only hurting themselves. So they know what they need to do. Yeah. They feel like they're a master manipulator, where I can get somebody else to do it for me, and in doing so, they hurting themselves. And I don't really think I think it's unconscious, right? When you do it so many times that it becomes repetition, and so you do it muscle memory. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just it's a best practice for them. It's a horrible practice, but to them they made it a best practice because they kept on doing it in repetition. So they're doing it without even knowing they're doing it, and that just don't. You got just some lazy people, bro. That the bottom line. Some folks are just lazy and don't want to do nothing, and they don't want to be held accountable. I think you know what to do. You just don't want to do it with your lazy ass.
Yeah, it's lazy. Yeah. And
That
and
that
and and just because somebody is doing something and they've been doing it for a long time, this is exactly, I'm glad you said that. Because it's not a best practice, it's just someone consistently practicing something. And they may believe that it's a best practice, but this is why I say consistency alone is not how you become successful. Because a person could be consistently practicing something that is
a bad
a
habit.
bad habit, and they just been doing it for so long, they lie to themselves. They lie themselves into believing it's a best practice until they come
Man,
across somebody who really has a best practice.
this the
And that
problem. A person can come a long way, right? You can come a long way
still
just to
got a
realize
long way
that
to
you was,
go.
but just to realize you was going in the wrong direction.
Oh, hell yeah. Say that again.
You feel me? You can come a long way, but been going in the wrong direction. So, you know, a lot of times people don't, you know, gotta have vision. You gotta have focus, gotta
That would
have
be
vision.
unconsciously incompetent. A mother going the wrong way, and then one day become competent and be like, yeah, that motherfucker was going the wrong way the whole time. Don't follow him.
That's watch this segue. Watch this segue. That is the perfect example of a person, what you said, what you said, what was you talking about? The listeners,
Oh, the
uh,
qualified listeners,
the
unqualified
qualified
listeners.
listeners, the unqualified listener. Because if you come this far and you've been going the wrong direction, that means so along the way somebody said turn around. You're doing it the wrong way, but you chose not to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You chose not to listen, and you chose to ignore the signs that was been given to you. And the reason I said that was the perfect segue is because I want to talk today about signs and seeds. And earlier, when you first started talking to me, and I said, "How you been?" You said, "I've been giving it to God."
Yeah,
You know,
putting
that's
out
when
first. Yeah, putting out first.
putting God first, and you know that's my kind of talk. So, what I want to talk to you today about, I wrote a good paper down. Don't worry about it. But first thing I put on there was sowing seeds. Sowing seeds. A lot of times, what we do is we say we want something. We have a vision. It starts with a vision. It starts with a dream. It starts with a dream, right? An idea. And a lot of times we start something. And this is where people say, man, you start, but you never finish nothing. Sometimes it just takes a little idea. Perfect example, way back in 2012, I think, when we first did 2012, 2013, when we first did our first episode, public service announcement,
Yeah.
right? It was a seed we planted. Let it sit. Sometimes you give it a little water, you try, and then you move away. It may not, the ground may not be ready to nurture it yet, to help it grow.
Yeah.
Few years later, we came back, we tried again. A little bit more, but the ground may not be ready to let it go. Few years later, out of nowhere, we got 900 views.
Yeah.
Right? That was a seed that was planted long ago.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes we plant seeds and we forget about them because we didn't see the fruits of our labors right as we planted it. And a lot of us are microwave living. Now I know that's gonna go over a lot of people's head,
I
but
just was talking about this with one of my members, literally that exact term early today. But go ahead.
yeah, microwave living, right? Because we want instant results. We want the instant gratification. I did this. I want this now. JG Wentworth, it's my money. I need it now. The problem is life don't work like that. Life don't work like that. A lot of times we plant seeds and we have to work for our blessings. You can plant a seed and wonder why it's not growing because you're not tending to the ground. You're not tending to the dirt. You're not watering it. You're not nurturing it. So it don't grow. Sometimes God will withhold your blessings until you're ready to receive them. And when God is ready to give you your blessings, you will reap what you sowed. Did that go over your head or are you with me?
Did it go over who head?
Exactly. I knew it was.
You talking to the people or you talking to me?
Nah, no. See, I knew. So you always with me.
Yeah.
So so the reason I say that is the reason I thought about that is because you know how I use myself as an example all the time because I can't speak for what nobody else done. I can only speak for what I've been through.
For sure.
And for me, a lot of the hard work that I put in, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to relate to some of this, if not all. A lot of the hard work that I put in over the years, over a lifespan, it never seems to it never seems to be where other people are. I see other people out here living, and I know it's a messed up thought, man. I'm trying to catch up to everybody else. Or you might see somebody else going on hella vacations and doing X, Y, Z, and you wondering why you can't do it and why it ain't your time. For me, and I done went through a whole bunch of hard times, very hard times. I ain't gonna even say it on here, but it's been some times where you feel, damn, what am I going to do? And nothing's going right. Everything that I worked for, he's taken away from me. This is what I would say. In the last few months, even while we've been doing this podcast, I've been going through my own problems, right? This be my therapy as well. So I like to get some of it off and declutter, right? And peel some of these layers off because it helps me just like I hope it's helping other people. So I watched God come in literally. And I don't want to say God did it, but I've been feeling like Job. You read the book of Job, right? You know who Job is.
I know who Job is, but Bible quotes, you gotta give them to me.
Okay. Well, the whole thing with Job is the devil, God told the devil, you can do whatever you want to my servant Job. He won't curse me. And the devil told God, yeah, he ain't gonna curse you because you won't let me touch him. Well, God said, go ahead and touch him. Just don't kill him. Wait, first, before he did that, God said the same thing. Devil, where you come from? The devil said, I'm coming to and from earth. He said, but have you tried my servant Job? He said, yeah, my servant Job won't never curse me. He said, yeah, because you protect him. He said, I'll let you take everything away from him. Just don't touch him. Just don't hurt him. And he still won't curse me. So the devil went and killed all Job's children, took all Job's homes, took all his cattle, all his land, took everything from Job. Job still never cursed God. So he went back. The devil went back and said to God said, devil, Satan, where you coming from? He said, to and from earth. He said, surely, but you haven't tried my servant Job. He said, yeah, because you won't let me touch him. You protect him. He said, I'll tell you what, I'll let you touch him. And he still won't curse me, but just don't kill him. He said, all right. So he went down there to Job and put Job through everything. Job had already lost his family. Now Job is dying, but he can't die because God said don't kill him. All Job's friends and family, even his wife, came up and said, you're not gonna curse God for putting you through this, and all you was a loyal servant? And Job says, surely if I can take his blessings, then I can take his chastising. Surely if I can take what he's gonna give me, I can take the beatings and the punishment that he gave me. But he did ask God, why are you doing this to me? Why have you forsaken me? Right? Mm-hmm. So he didn't kill him. He never cursed God. So the devil went back. Satan, where you come from? To and from earth. And your servant Job didn't curse you. Good. You're right. He's been loyal to me. God gave him everything back. He gave him double the children, triple the land, more, right? Gave Job everything that he took from Job. He gave it back in abundance. And for me, I've been feeling like Job. Like I felt like I was losing everything, spiraling. And our business, the way the economy going, just everything at one time. What they say, when it rains, it pours. You know what I'm saying? Come hell and high water. Like when you ever been in a situation where you feel like you're in the ocean and you just treading water, trying to keep your head above the water, but it keep getting to your nose and you just trying to, like, felt like that.
Yeah.
felt like that, went through some hard times. And I watched, and I just kept praying. You know how I get on here and I talk about prayer, because prayer works. And I know one of our comments said, between 3 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the morning, that's prayer time. If you get up at that time, go pray. And that's the angels waking you up to come talk.
Oh yeah, that was my mom. That's what time she get up.
Shout out, Mom. That's a good time. And I felt like I've been going through a storm of my own. I'm pretty sure we all go through our storms, but I was worried and everything like that. And then the dominoes started to fall. Bink, 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 bink. Everything is, I can't control it no more. Everything is out of my hands. There's while everything is losing, and I'm sitting over here and I'm asking God, like, yo, I did everything right. I tried to do everything right. Why are you taking this from me?
Yeah.
What did I do? I did everything right. Why me? What did I do? But then I go back to when we first started these episodes, and I told you when I got in my prayer closet and I couldn't find the door.
Yeah.
And then the light came on under. And I told you my cousin had got back to me. He's a deacon. He said that was God expanding your territory.
Yeah.
And I know we always talk about letting go of some things, because in order for you to receive new things, God can't give you the blessings if you never let go of the bear. When we're talking about the bear behind the back. So the dominoes started to fall, and I watched everything that I worked for, that I've struggled for and fought for, slip out my hands, where it was nothing that I could do. Nothing. And then everything crumbled. And then as the dominoes start falling and my anxiety builds up and all that stuff, I go through situations. And as I go through the situation, one situation knocked off. And when it happened, it left me feeling scared and lighter, right? Kind of a mixed emotion, right? You're scared because you don't know what the new beginning is coming, but you feel lighter because some of this weight then got off of you. And as that happened, the air felt a little bit more fresher, right? So the things that I had been sitting in my closet talking to God about, and I've talked to God about plenty of things. When this disappeared, I asked God one day, and I don't know if all y'all pray, but I'm gonna tell y'all one of my prayers that I ask God all the time is to remove anything that's not for me from you. If it's not for me, remove it. I don't want to have to chase anything. If I got to chase something, that means it's running from me. I don't want to pump fear in anything or anybody. So if you got to run, if I got to chase you, you're free to go. And I talk to God, and I start watching people and things start leaving. Now, I'm like the little kid that God was saying, give me the little bear too, because you want to hold on to so much. You want to hold on to it. And a lot of times I've been telling you, and I've been telling a lot of people, let go and let God. And when I say that, I don't just mean like it in a quote, this is a good saying. Like really, let it go and give it to God, right? And as I did that, I started noticing things start changing immediately, right? The business start picking back up. The things that I was losing start coming back. The thing even better though. They start coming back even better. And I'm telling you a testimony because the feeling that it gave me was euphoric.
Yeah.
And I say that to say because I have been talking to God for so long about things that I would like to achieve and things like that. And God says, I'm gonna give you your blessings. He already showed me that he was going to expand my territory. The problem is the problem was I wouldn't let go of what he already had given me because I had grown so attached to what he had given to me that I wouldn't release it for the blessings that he's bringing me, the new
Yeah.
blessings that he's giving me. And when I finally let go, God said, I told you to trust me. And immediately, all the seeds and all the prayers that I sent up started falling down on me like rain, bro. Like the blessings start coming in so different. Like,
Yeah.
right. So that's why I wanted to come with sowing seeds. You may not benefit from the fruits or the hard work that you put in through this shit because a lot of times it's gonna be um tough to say the
Yeah.
least. Life life be life and right. And sometimes you just gotta really let go and let God do what he's gonna do and really relinquish it because bro, I've been carrying weights on my feet and on my back. I've been shackled to things that no longer was serving a purpose for me.
Yeah.
And now when I finally let go, and that is a best practice, if not any other best practice, let go and let God. Okay, I'm gonna let you get in. I'm gonna let you get in on that because I know you got a lot to say. Go for it.
Um, you said the little bear behind the back. I want you to elaborate on that because I don't think we actually elaborated on that. The little bear behind the back.
Okay. Um, in the picture that you will see, it's a little girl with a teddy bear, and God is saying, "Let me have the bear." And behind God's back, He's holding a very very big bear.
Mm-hmm.
The girl has a little bear, and
Mm-hmm.
God's saying, "Let me have it, and I'm gonna give you something better." And the little girl saying, "No, no, I don't want to give it to you. This is mine." And God said, "Trust me, give it to me." And the little girl said, "No, no, this is mine. I don't want to let it go." So the whole time while she's holding on to the little bear, God has the big bear behind his back. So
Yeah.
finally, she lets God have it, right? She gives God the bear, but God don't give her the big bear right there, right? He make her wait now. He makes her wait. And she like, but you said you was going to give it to me. But you said you was going to give it to me. What happened to the blessing that you know what I'm saying? Now she's pleading with God. And then God says, here goes the bear. I just wanted you to make sure to trust me. I want to make sure that you trust me to deliver on what I said. And
Yeah.
so that's the little bear, big bear. Sometimes you got to let that stuff go in order to receive the blessing.
Yeah. And those analogies have been given in many different ways, like the little bear, big bear. You know, one of the things, a couple things came to mind. First of all, honesty. Your honesty and transparency of you sharing what you shared on here like that is honesty, and that's super dope. Um, being able to do that, and I think that's in a nutshell what no cap is, right? It's the honesty and the transparency. No matter what arena, avenue, area we're
Mm-hmm.
speaking from, we're given transparency and honesty. So that what you just gave and your explanation of why you were giving it was pure honesty. You
Mm-hmm.
feel? Which is in itself cleansing, which is in itself healing, which is in itself therapeutic, which is in itself power, which is in itself self empowerment. So being able to do the practice and put into practice real honesty with yourself. If you remember from our very first episode, I was talking about, you know, being able to identify an area of weakness. I said it on here and
Mm-hmm.
really and go to it. You was like, hey, you know how honest you gotta be with yourself and how many layers you gotta pull off. You remember that? That was our very first
Mm-hmm.
episode. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what go over a lot of people's heads right now. And so being able to show that honesty is is life changing for individuals. It's life changing for you, and it's life changing for individuals who are blessed to witness it. It's like me demonstrating how to do something correctly in fitness, or it's like me demonstrating when I was talking to a member today, and we were talking, and they were like, um, when we're having these conversations, when we're talking, it's not like what I see on YouTube, and that's also why I like y'all no cap on YouTube. It's like because you're living these things. I know you are going through, went through, or put in practice these things. It's authentic to you. It comes across. You can see it. So that
Mm-hmm.
honesty that you just shared is a best practice, and it's cleansing, it's empowering, it's all those things. So being just wise enough but strong enough to stand on your honesty and be honest is definitely best practice. And you just showed and shared that. So hopefully people pick up on that. Now one thing I picked up on from you speaking is I don't know if people are aware or are in are it may be in their subconscious, but I don't know if it's in their conscious mind or not, that you have a relationship with God.
Mm.
And your relationship with God is your relationship. So yeah, your relationship is your relationship. As you were speaking, I could hear your relationship with God.
Mm.
Now, we're not telling people what their relationship with God is.
Right. Correct.
We're saying have a relationship. And some people may identify exactly with your relationship with God. They might be like,
Right.
man, that hit home to them, and that can help them drive in the right direction. And some people may not even know what their relationship really looks like. But the point
Right.
is that you have to identify your relationship. It gives you, first and foremost, it gives you the relationship, but it also gives you a way to practice the relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing outside of honesty is that you are communicating live on here what a relationship with God looks like.
Mm.
Though it may be your relationship
Correct.
and what your relationship looks like, it's still at the root what a relationship with God looks like.
Mm.
So we ask questions about like movies and trivia, and then we also ask questions about best practices and things like that. So here's a question. What does your relationship with God look like?
Whichever God you choose to to
Whatever
to to pray to.
whatever the name, whether
There you go.
Yahweh, Elohim,
Allah.
Buddha,
However y'all want it.
Allah, in the
The
form,
universe.
the universe, however that may be. What does your relationship look like? And I would say your relationship, is best served being authentic and knowing
Mm-hmm.
what your relationship is and having that relationship. I know what my relationship is. You know what your relationship is,
Right.
and you know how that relationship works, and it works for you. And we may have similar. You like I can relate to some of the
Mm-hmm.
things you say in your relationship with God. You can relate some of the things that I say in my relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, our journeys are our journeys, and how we go along with those journeys is really, between us and God,
There you go.
right? So, um, I don't have much to say other than that. That was pure honesty, and that what jumped out at me is you're speaking of a relationship with God, which is your relationship with God, and that anyone who cares to do so has the opportunity to clearly identify what their relationship is with God and how that works.
So my next question would be behind that would be once you reap what you sow,
Mhm.
can you handle the blessings that God gives you? Right? God gives you blessings every day. Every day you wake up, you breathe, you get a blessing. Can you really handle all the blessings that God can pour on you? If God gave you everything that you wished for right now, everything that you ever dreamed of, God said, P, you earned it here. Can you handle all of it right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We kind of answered that question.
Yeah. I know.
Go ahead.
So, go ahead. I'm listening.
No. I want you to finish your thought. I just was trying to.
Yeah. So, because for me, the reason I say that is because as I start watching all the blessings that He put on me, that He's given back and things like that, I don't know how to receive them all. I get so I'll get about myself, stuck in the box. That even as God starts to give them to me, I'm proceeding with caution, scared to really accept it. That's a bad practice. That's a horrible practice that I have identified within myself. Like, yo, that's horrible. I don't want to take nothing. I refuse to take help. Right. So what hinders me from wanting to accept help? Maybe I think I'm gonna owe somebody something. Maybe somewhere down the line, or I didn't dealt with too much. I did this for you. Got to give this back. But what a mighty God we serve. God don't ask for it back. And a lot of the blessings that He's been giving to me now, I let go, and I let God give them to me, and I accept them, and it feels great. And I'm sharing this with people because when God give you something and you know it's a pure heart and that you really give it to Him and you let Him bring it into you, or however you want to word it, it will. Whereas sometimes I sit there and I count my blessings and it brings tears to my eyes because I know where I come and P, we said it, and damn it, we just said it. You can come so far and be going the wrong way, right? Or you can come so far and look back and say, damn, look where I just came from, and look where I'm at now. It's hard to do either or. It's hard to go the wrong way. It's hard to go the right way. You pick your heart. You pick your destination. But when you give it to God and let Him really give it back to you and let Him pour into you, man, that feeling, man, it's just, bruh. I ain't going to talk about it now because it's going to make me emotional because it makes me feel good. I have a happiness to me lately. Like, damn, this makes me feel like this. Like, it feels great. And I went over with my sister. I told you, my sister was here, and we went and visited some people. And when we went to go visit some people, I had a talk with a fellow and his people. And I ain't gonna mention their names or nothing like that. But another topic, I want you to kind of take over before I even give it, because I'm giving these long spiels.
Oh no, go ahead.
Talking about addiction, alcoholism, drug addiction, things that we said we can talk about it, but we never really talk about it because we all have family members that's addicted to something or alcoholics. Like, I don't even drink that much because I know my lineage is a bunch of alcoholics, so I try to stay away from it. And I know got some family members that's junkies, real close family members, and it hurts you because you want to help somebody. You want to help because nobody wants to see their people down. You want to see people winning. At least I do. And then it kind of hurts you when you like, damn, I can't help you because no matter. This goes back to what you said. This unconscious incompetence. You know what I'm saying? because then I want to help you, but you don't want to help yourself. That is the driving fucking point home. You gotta want to help yourself with it. And a lot of times people get so dependent on alcohol or this dope or this meth or this tree or the powder or whatever it is. Y'all
Yeah.
want to get addicted to this shit. And I don't want to say you weak minded. I don't want to say that because I'm not going to put nobody down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say if you have somebody that care about you, that's genuinely in your corner and want to see you do better and want to help you kick some of these addictions, and if you can't do it for you, do it for them. But then I would say, how can I expect you to do it for me or do it for them when you want to do it for yourself? So, but you motherfuckers, I'm gonna gather my thoughts, Piggy. Go ahead, you tell me what you're thinking.
So, you know, when worthy, I have I'm real close to this family, and in this family that I'm real close with, they are one of the most I don't see a lot of families move like that. Like how
Mm-hmm.
their family worships, praises, how the kids are brought up and they have to go through certain levels of rites, passions, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and there's leaders in the family and it's really community based and everything is taught and you know they live their lives outside of that, but that is definitely a structure in their life. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm close to this family and I'm around them and I see it and it's led by a woman, the
Mm-hmm.
mother, and very strong. And every time that I greet her, um, Yahweh Elohim, I hope I didn't say it incorrectly. um, they are the of the Hebrew culture. But every time that I greet her and I say, you know, how you doing? And she says, worthy. Her response is always worthy. And, you know, what as you were speaking of, well, one of the habits that you was talking about, like you was like you identified that that was a bad habit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that you know last episode I talked about you know your preparation to receiving the goals that you're working towards even in a small fragment of it as long as it resembles the goal then when it comes you're already in practice of it right but as you were speaking and you said you know that you identified that habit it's 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 you knowing that you're worthy of it right it's you're worthy of the blessing that's coming your way
Mm-hmm.
it has it's not and when you say you know like could it be because when you got something from people in the past that people kind of like oh well use it against you but God would never do that right God would never use it against you and so you're absolutely correct that when you identify that as a bad habit because what you're really saying is you know that you're worthy so why wouldn't you accept it with full open arms knowing that you're worthy Um, and so that is a that word worthy, like every time she says it to me, it just stands out. Worthy. How you doing? You know, like people say blessed,
Mm-hmm.
right? You say, how you doing? Oh, I'm blessed. But she
Mm-hmm.
said worthy. And that word, I just wanted to share that word with you because
Mm-hmm.
it every time she says it to me, it's like a uplift. She's talking about herself, but it uplifts me, and it's like I want to, you know what? And she's telling me that, and so are you. When she's saying that to me, I'm working. When she's saying she's worthy, she's telling me to recognize that, you know, within myself. So you that battle that you had is because you do know that you're worthy. Um, you were talking about um planting the seeds
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the main basis
Mm-hmm.
of your conversation right now. Splitting the seed and then reaping the benefits of it. Sometimes people could have issues reaping the benefits because they planted seeds that are not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to plant seeds,
Mm-hmm.
whether they know it or not, whether they are unconsciously incompetent, consciously incompetent, or consciously competent. they are going to plant seeds. Seeds are being planted either way. If a person plants seeds that are healthy and fruitful, then what's sure to grow will be healthy, fruitful, right? Blessings, worthy. If people plant seeds that are poison and destruction, then what's sure to grow is poison, destruction, you know, things that are not positive.
Right.
So struggling with addiction, struggling with negativity, struggling with these different things, a lot of times it's because the seeds that were planted, either by the individual or the individuals who had a hand in raising those individuals. So it's when you speak of planting seeds, be aware that there may be some seeds that need to be removed that were previously planted,
Right.
that no longer serve a purpose in your life. And you basically said that when you had to let go of some things, even though those things were blessings, some things that people let go were never blessings in the first place. Even if they thrived from the bad practice, even if they made a living, even if they found some joy in a bad practice, it was still a seed that was planted that never should have been planted. So, when you're watering these seeds, don't water those seeds that are of poison, and
Right.
don't no longer water those seeds. And if you can identify that those seeds exist, you've just unlocked your full potential of improvement, because now you are conscious of an area worthy of improvement. So a best practice would be not only to recognize the seeds that you have planted that are healthy and fruitful, but do some work one seed at a time. Don't try to get them all. One seed at a time to see if there is one seed at a time that needs to be removed. And then put into practice the positive seed and move forward with that and watch what grows. And knowing that you're worthy of receiving what that brings to life, what that nourishes, how that comes to life. You're worthy of that. But it's those seeds that have been planted by others and by people themselves that cause that fear, the doubt, and the negativity, because that's what the seed is at the root of it. And remember, the solution is always in the problem, but the problem is identifying the real problem. Not looking at the trees and the leaves and the fruits and the berries, but going to the root of the problem and having the courage, the confidence, and the honesty to do so and identify the real root of the problem. So at the root of it, some of these seeds need to be removed.
Yo, I was asking, I'm gonna tell you this crazy story. I was one day I was in my prayer closet. This all happens around the same time. I'm in my closet and I'm praying, and again, I'm like talking, God, give me a sign if this is meant to be X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. Da 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 da, my partner would say. And I leave out my prayer closet, go to the first church. Pastor said, declutter. Start taking some of it off. Mind you, I asked God for a sign. The next sermon came up and he said, the pastor started talking about bathrooms. Bathrooms. The men in the women's bathroom used to say men's and women's.
Yeah.
Right? What happened was people would still be going to other bathrooms. Right? They would be going to other bathrooms because people wasn't paying attention. So what they did was they changed it from men's and women's and just put the little people, the man symbol and a woman symbol, because they said people not paying attention to the words. Don't let this go over nobody's head. People not paying attention to the words, but they follow the signs. I just asked God for a sign. God said today's message is going to be signs. Follow your signs. A lot of signs start coming up. And I want to make sure I say this to people. God will give you a sign. He'll give it to you several times. Was that me and you who was talking? No,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
No,
What?
well,
What?
here last episode you was talking about getting the sign and they'll send it to you several times, but you had mentioned that your boy had or somebody had you had just talked to was saying that, but then you spoke about it on here.
And did you tell me the story about the? No, it wasn't you. Somebody asked God for a sign, and God gave it a sign. They said, God, if it's a sign, they took a box and put a box on the ground and said, God, I'm asking for a sign. I don't know what they was asking, what they was praying for, but if you're giving me the sign, if this is what you want me to do, let it rain, but don't let the box get wet. God made it rain, everything wet except for the box. Dude said, "Now they got to be some freak accident." So he went and got the box back. He said, "God, I don't know if that was an accident or not, but if you give me the sign, if you really giving me a sign, let it rain, but only let the box get wet, and don't let nothing else get wet." It rained. Only thing that was wet was the box. Sometimes, and the dude still didn't believe, right? God to give you the signs. You just gotta know what you're looking for, or like my partner just said, be competent, be consciously competent. Recognize the signs that you're looking for. Recognize, be specific in what you ask for and how you speak to God, because nobody's gonna have the relationship. And you were saying it already. We all have our own relationship with God. You don't have to go to church. You don't have to get in the closet. You can go in a corner. You can be in your bed. You can talk to him in your mind. Talk to him free. We have line, a direct line of communication with God. And I use mine every day, frequently. I thank him. I vent to him. I do a lot of things regarding it. I just want to make sure people are recognizing the signs and be prepared to be amazed at what he does for you, because he's already doing it for you. God never stopped working. Even if you think you're not getting the blessing, even if you think you're not getting the blessing, God will be in the kitchen preparing your blessings for you. But you can be so impatient and want to live that microwave lifestyle, instant gratification, instant results, that while God is downstairs preparing your blessings, you can be looking to pick up microwave burritos. You can be hurrying up, and you can really down there be blocking your own blessing, trying to rush God while he's working. Don't rush God. Take your time. Be patient. Have faith and trust him and trust you to do the right thing. Yeah, I like that. This is my therapy, Pete.
Hey,
This is my form of therapy.
sometimes the things that people are complaining about, oftentimes, not sometimes, the very thing that a person will find themselves complaining about is a blessing.
Elaborate.
So a person to be like, man, I'm so busy with X, Y, and Z that I don't got time to hang out with X, Y, and Z. Because I'm so busy with X, Y, and Z, I don't got time to hang out with X, Y, and Z over here. And they'll be complaining about it, but the very thing that's keeping them busy over here is actually a blessing and keeping them from something that is not. Or I'll give you a personal example. Like sometimes how I have members do their sessions and all that. Sometimes people are not, let's just say, the most coachable at times, right? And they don't always do, everybody has bad habits. And the way that I train is not just fitness. We work on bad habits, lifestyle changes, right? So that's part of what I do. I study people. And so it's not just about coming to the studio or online and just exercising. That is not what I do. Fitness is a tool or something that I use, but it's more to it than that. So because of that, it's like I'm welcoming the opportunity to help people improve as I use this to improve myself. That's what the company is, right? We're members of it. And so sometimes it can be easy for me to vent and or complain about some of the habits of some members. But then I catch myself immediately and go, it's a blessing to have them. It's a blessing to have the member doing exactly what I'm complaining about or venting about in that moment, because that means that they are a member first and foremost. That also means that I have the opportunity to do what my company is built to do, help me improve and help any other member improve. So I catch myself and say, but I'm not complaining. And I know it's a blessing. And I always finish, even if I was venting a second ago, I was going to say, but it's a blessing. And I'm thankful for the blessing. Right? And so that's what I mean by, and I say this often, like, it's the two sides of energy, the coin. If you, yeah, it's negative over here, but if you flip that motherfucker over, it's positive.
Man.
You know what I mean? It's the same coin. If you just flip it over, it's positive. So oftentimes, person will complain, like I was talking about before, like they'll be like, oh, I'm in traffic and I hate traffic. And I was talking about how I hate traffic. But it's a blessing that I'm heading to my place of business that I own. I have a vehicle. I have the money to put the gas in the car with the way that gas prices is going up. Like, these are the blessings. So I would, you know what? It would be a best practice for people to start doing this. Every time that they start complaining about something, catch yourself and see if you could flip the coin over and recognize that that's actually a blessing. The thing that a person might be complaining about is actually a blessing. So be careful so that it is not removed and that it produces what it's supposed to produce. Because the thing that a person might be complaining about can come across as you feel like that you're unworthy, and it could be taken. So yeah, people slip up because, like people say, the tongue is in a very slippery place. So even if you slip up and you start to vent or complain, put into practice catching yourself, like I often do, and make sure you conclude that by saying, thank you for the blessing, because it is a blessing. I was venting for a second, but this is a blessing, and I'm so thankful for the blessing. Confess the blessing, because most things that people are complaining about often are actual blessings to their life. They just got to learn how to control their energy. Yeah, so I wanted to share that. You know, it's everyone has the opportunity to do what we're doing right now, by the way. Everyone has the opportunity to identify areas of weakness. Everyone has an opportunity to be honest and transparent with themselves. Everyone has an opportunity to build their relationships with God, with themselves. Everyone has this opportunity. Take advantage of the opportunity and maximize it on a day-to-day. You were talking about before, like the small, quote unquote, small blessings that people overlook. You know, and I was thinking about this. God first. This thought came to me, and thank you, God, for bringing it back to me right now. Earlier today, like you can, it's people who good with money, right? And they will say they'll talk about how much money they got in the bank, and they'll use that as a separation of that their life is good. But it's a lot. There's a lot of people that do well with money, but their life itself is not as happy and healthy as their bank account. Now it could be, but I'm just telling you from me studying people and working with people is what I do for a living. That people will point out their money because there's other things that are not in line, and they'll use that because that's the thing that separates a gap between them and someone else is how much money they have, not how much, not how much health they have, not how much their spirit, how healthy their spirit is, not their best practices. But what I was going to say is not how strong their morals are, their moral code, their moral pattern. But what I was going to say is God first. What does it mean? And the reason I brought up the thing about money is you could ask a person who does well with money, like, all right, well, share with me some best practices at the level that you're at, how to progressively get to those steps. And a lot of times people don't really give like direct answers of how to do that.
They say put God first.
They say what they say is put God first. Right? Just
in
put
all
God
things
first.
that you do.
That's the common answer, right? Put God first. So what does that mean? What does put God first mean? Well, if you give it some thought and start to put that into practice, really putting God first, one way would mean recognizing the small blessings. There is no small blessing. There's just blessings. And not separating the levels of the blessings. They're just blessings. But also understanding what your relationship is and how that applies to an individual within their relationship. How do they, in their relationship, put that into practice? Put God first. So put it into practice. If you are a person God-fearing and God is in your life, how does a person put God first and put that actually into practice? And when you start to do that, you have these miracle lessons like you were talking about moments ago, where you were talking about Job and how things were taken so that everything could be given in an abundance, right? Sometimes those things are taken so you have to put God first. But on a daily practice, I just posed the question, what does that mean? How does that look for each individual to purposely, consciously put God first in their life? I know what it looks like for me and how I'm working.
The other day, me and my sister, we had a disagreement. We had a disagreement, and she immediately said she knew that we was off. She said, "Bro, your energy off. What's wrong?" I said, "Nothing is good." She said, "No, it ain't good because your energy off." I said, "No, it's good." And then we came back to the house. She said, "If you say so, but your energy is off." I said, "My energy is the same." She said, "No, it ain't, but if you say so." So came back in the house. She went her way. I went my way. I didn't say nothing else. She really had pissed me off with something. So I already wanted to respond, but I said, let me respond in the correct way. But what's the correct way? So what I did was I said nothing. And I went into my prayer closet and I asked God right there. I said, I've been always practicing. I've been saying to myself, I'm practicing this. Letting go and let God. That's a practice. And you can't just say the words, but you actually have to do the work. To get somewhere, you actually have to do the work. And so I said, wait a minute. I'm going to try to come up with the answer by myself. No, I'm not. No is a complete sentence. No, I would not do that. So I went into my closet and I asked God to take over for me and guide this situation. Came out, went to bed, let God do whatever God was going to do. In the morning, went in there and talked to my sister. We had the best conversation. She said, "Bro, I knew it wasn't right. Why you didn't say this yesterday?" I said, "See, I had to deflate a little bit, decompress. I had to let it come off of me, and I had to give it to God and let God come back with it. And when you give it to God, God will work it out." And she ended up having the best day for her. I had the best day for me. Very blessed weekend, and it all starts because you can, if you give it to God, you ain't gonna even know what He's going to do for you. You can go to God for something minute, but just like you said, there's no little blessings. Any blessing from God is major, and what we think and what we expect, God says, you just gotta have faith in me the size of a mustard seed, and I'll show you everything. Right? My faith goes beyond the mustard seed, and so again, over the months that we've been doing this, we practice and practice, and that's your favorite words. It is the best practice. That finger go up. That finger go up right there. That you finna say it, and that is the best practice. But it is, and the best practice is letting go and giving it to God. And really, it what does it look like when you feel like you finna go off, or you feel like something isn't right? Talk to God right there. Talk to Him. God, what do you want me to do? I come to you humble. I know that I'm just man of flesh and I don't have all the answers, but I know that you're the Almighty, you're the All High. So I ask you to take over the situation. You use me as your vessel. Speak to me and speak through me so that it can be done of your will and your way and not of my own. Because myself, I sin and I know that I'm full of imperfections, but I know that you are the one perfect. And let God have it. And then He'll give you clarity and the answers, and He'll take over that situation for you. And that's what I did. And when I seen Him do it, not only did He do that, He said, but since you did this, I'm going to give you this and this. And won't He do it? I'm going to leave it at that. Go ahead, Pete. I see you writing something down. Won't He do it?
One of my, I have, and this is actually, I think it's in like the last chapter of my book, but I talk about, and I have this quote that I wrote, but it's logic versus emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And years ago, I came across this, and I was talking with a cousin of mine, and I came across this years ago. Logic versus emotion, and the ability to track your logical responses and put that into practice into a best habit, a best practice and a habit. So, we talk about the two energies. You have logic versus emotion. Growing up, these seeds are planted. Express yourself, express your feelings, talk about your feelings, express your emotions, what you're feeling, express your feelings, express your emotions, express your feelings, your emotions, from like as far back as you can remember. And it's taught in schools, it's taught in poems, it's even in churches, the emotions and being in tune with, and it's okay and recognizing, which is cool. But one thing that's not really discussed is utilizing logic. One thing that's not usually discussed is expressing logic, perfecting logic, manifesting your next step with logic. So I call it basically the battle between logic versus emotion. Emotion, which is raw, uncut, gives people a burst of some type of energy, whatever it may be. People are taught to be in tune with it, and even if they wasn't taught, they go be in tune with their emotions. What takes more work is learning how to be equally in tune with your logical responses. So it doesn't matter how long it takes. A person will have an emotional response to something, but at some point, no matter how long it takes, week, day, month, year, whatever, logic will kick in at some point for even just a halfway wise individual. Logic will kick in. Just a halfway competent individual, since we're talking about unconsciously competent, consciously incompetent, and consciously competent. Just for a halfway competent person, at some point, logic will kick in, and they'll be like, "Dang, what I said, I may have been right, but how I said it was wrong, and I could have delivered that in a more logical way, which would have been received from the individual in a more responsive way and more healthy for everybody."
Right.
And what you did, because of your relationship with God, was logic. God gives you these gifts. One of the gifts, you just got to put them into practice. And one of the gifts that God gives us all and gave you and that you put into practice the other day with your sister was the gift and the power of logic. You chose, even though your sister saw your emotion that you were not expressing, she was ready to receive the emotion, how you might have given it, and she was calling for you to give it, but you chose logic. And the logical response was not to respond until you found out the best response. Not any response, what's the best response? So where do I go to get that best response? That was logic right there in that moment.
Go ahead and preach, Pastor.
And because you chose logic, the power of logic, that is your gift, your right to utilize that God gave you, and you went to God, God said, I see your logic, son. And I appreciate you utilizing logic. And of course, I'm going to give you the answer. And I'll only give you the answer. The steps to follow this answer are going to be even better. Not just for you, but for those close to you who are involved in this situation. So logic versus emotion. People are often easily triggered to respond with emotion because it's the easiest thing to do. It's taught as a practice, and people have been practicing it for a very long time. But like I said, like we said, just because a person been practicing something don't mean that they've been consistent practicing something that is not good.
Right.
So a best practice, a best practice is logic versus or over emotion. And what you were just speaking about, your God-given power, your God-given right to express, even though humans haven't taught people to use logic over emotions, because most humans just go off emotions, God speaking to you, and because your relationship with God told you to use logic versus emotion and over emotion. Continue to use logic and make that an addiction. Say it again. Continue to use logic and make that an addiction. See, we can be addicted to great things that serve purpose in our life, build us up and build up others around us. We can have a craving for things that serve purpose in our life, that are positive driving forces in our life. We can have these cravings, and that's what a best practice is. A best practice is a craving that you satisfy that serves a real purpose in your life and changes your life for the better. It's a lifestyle change that is worthy of being a craving and satisfying that craving, like most people satisfy bad cravings. Well, if a person is capable of satisfying a bad craving, if they flip the coin, they are more than capable of satisfying a worthy craving and making that an addiction, making that a craving, and their life will go in the right direction, which honestly It ain't this way or that way. It's this way.
Hello.
So be in the practice of logic versus emotion, like my boy, my brother, KC, gave a description of, which is your God-given power and right. And also understand that satisfy your healthy cravings that serve a purpose in your life and that are worthy to your life, just like a person will satisfy selfishly craving that serves no purpose. I crave my best practices. It is a craving for me.
That was even a better word. I like that better.
I crave to exercise and take care of my temple. I crave to study and continuously learn so I can continue to teach. I crave to recognize blessings and control my emotions. I crave to utilize logic versus over emotion. I crave these things that improve me, improvement. I crave to be new and improved every day. So satisfy those cravings that make you new and improved daily. It is a craving that's worthy of satisfying. It is a good addiction. I'm addicted to best practices.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? But you brought it all the way back. Won't he do it? Listen, when I said addiction, I started talking about addiction, and then you brought it all the way back to what I wanted you to bring it back to. Won't he do it? Now, we think when we hear the word addiction, we automatically think something bad, being addicted to something bad. But the way you came with it, and when you said it, just made me smile because you put another word in place of addiction. Crave. You crave something. Because I was going to ask, because we all get addicted to something. Too much exercise, too much money. I want to keep getting money. I'm addicted to getting money. I'm addicted to exercise. I'm addicted to eating healthy. We get too much of anything makes you an addict, right? The question now is, do it all got to be bad? Do it all got to be bad? It's not bad. It doesn't all have to be a bad addiction. And for one of my family members, I said to him, "Hey, we all get addicted. You just got to change your addiction. Change your addiction. Right now, I'm addicted to God and getting my business and my peace. And
addicted to peace.
Boy, right? I'd be addicted to peace because that's self-explanatory. But that's what I'm addicted to. That and my children, things like that. I pick the things that I want to be addicted to. Some people choose drugs, alcohol, sex, violence, whatever. Everybody has their addictions. For me, and I think, damn it, P, that worksheet might got to start emailing them out to people. What is your 10 bad practices, and what is your 10 bad addictions, and offset it and counter it with 10 good addictions, and let's get them 10 good addictions and start working, because it is a fucking best practice. It is a best practice. So find the things that you ask yourself one question every morning or before you do anything. Once you give it to God, then ask and say, "Hey, does this make me happy? Does this make me happy?" Because if it doesn't, and it's disturbing your peace, let it go. It ain't everybody's not meant to go with you. And here's another question. Here's another one, P. Can you be addicted to the wrong person?
Without a doubt.
Because here we go. Now we become stalkers or fatal attractions, things like that, because you got addicted too much of anything. Then I asked this question. Hey, we always talk about manifestation and how we got to manifest and things like that. Can you be manifested? I mean, of course we can, but have you ever thought about that? Like, damn, did somebody manifest me? Right.
Good, yeah.
Right.
I might have manifested a person or two in my life. Now, you know what, Casey?
What's that?
Let's send them habit goal sheets out. I send them out on the first of every month to
Mm-hmm.
all my members. I say
Mm-hmm.
that all the time. I say my members, but you know what? We all members. I'm talking about Train the Brain Fit Club members that signed up with me,
Mm-hmm.
go through the enrollment process. But we here. This is an expansion of our membership. And I'm not talking about Train the Brain Fit Club. I mean, that is what it is. But just members of this community that you and I are building and expanding. And you know what? I would love to do that. Let's send them out. Man, I
And
will tomorrow
put
the
y'all
first.
emails. Put y'all
Tomorrow the
emails in the
first.
comment. Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow the first. You will receive your email. The instructions are on top of the form, and put those best practices into habit. I will tell you this. Not all of my members do it. I send them out to everybody, of course. But my members who do it, if I didn't send it to them, they'd be like, hey, it's the first.
Mm.
Hello? Where are the goal sheets at, coach? What let me you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I will tell you this, and they can tell you themselves, they say, since they started the practice of that, they like it.
Mm.
They look forward to doing it. They enjoy it. And it's almost a craving, right? They crave to do
Mm.
it.
Mm.
And it's a healthy craving. And they look forward to doing it every single month. And so, as I do. So shout out to my members. Now watch this. Shout out to all my members that do they 30-day goal sheets every month. Now watch everybody like, well, you ain't about to exclude me. And
Mm.
I don't want to. Yeah, man. All good stuff. But definitely,
I don't
if y'all
even know.
tap in with your emails, I would gladly
Yeah,
send them
put
out.
them in the bottom. Hey, this I had to make sure that we got on today because I was like, damn, we were supposed to get on last week, and I said I got to make sure we get on today because this was on my heart.
Yeah.
This was on my heart to come and bring this to the front. And I said, this is so earlier when we were finished our talking, I was like, no, I don't even want to start talking about it yet because I already had it wrote down. That was the first thing on my paper. Sowing seeds, and you had said something. I was like, "Oh yeah, hold on, P, hold on, because God put it on your heart." I'm telling you this was the message He wanted me to deliver today. You know what I mean? This is what He wanted me to speak on because a lot of times, often, we all suffer through things:
Yep.
depression, anxiety, alcoholism, addiction to dope, meth, crack, whatever the prescription pills, whatever, pain pills. We all battle and suffer through things. We all, I don't know if I know I'm not the only one. I'm gonna say that now. I know I'm not the only one that then felt like you was drowning and didn't have a life raft or somebody to pull you out, especially if you're an entrepreneur. If you if you already stressed out in your regular life, imagine when you an entrepreneur and how that makes us feel when the money ain't coming in, but the bills is still coming out. You know what I mean? And so we go through different. You can you hear me?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, we go through different things, and I know I'm not the only one that goes through them. And the reason I say all that is, man, it is vital that we start getting in this relationship. I don't care what you call your God that you serve or worship. Make sure your connection is locked in. That should be the first. It always should go God first, you second, your family behind you, and then God, you, your family, and then everything else will fall in line. You know what I'm saying? Put God first, so let Him take care of you, so you can take care of your family, and then let everything else fall in place. God should always come first. So make sure your connection with Him is secure and tight because not everybody gonna be able to come get you out the ocean. Not everybody gonna be able to understand these feelings or a feeling or certain things like that. Not everybody's going to understand, but somebody will. One thing I learned just sitting and talking to you, a lot of times, me and you be thinking the same damn way. I said some people to go over your head, who, right? Right. Right. But I knew it didn't, right? Because I already know we be saying the same shit. And I just want other people to understand we all go through something. It gets better. Find your place. And I ain't trying to tell y'all to go to somebody's church because half the time I go to church online and in my closet. Find your church. Find your place that you can go and build your relationship with God. I don't care if you got a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a mistress, a boyfriend, a sneaky link, whatever, an addiction, whatever it is that you're dealing with, give it to God first. Give it to God and trust that He is going to bless you. And if you give it to Him in all your honesty, and when you're talking to God, it's just you and God, so there's no reason to lie. Give it to Him in all your honesty and watch what He does. Watch what He does. He don't just give you what you ask for. Like Solomon, when he asked Solomon in Second Kings, Solomon, what do you want? Solomon said, just give me knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. God said, you don't want money. You don't want to be rich. You don't want all the land. Solomon said, just give me knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. God said, okay, I'm going to give it to you. But also, since I'm going to give you that, I'm also going to give you all this land and all these riches. See, God blessings and God see things we don't see. He hear conversations we don't hear. He knows more about you than you know. God already done seen the past, the future, and the present. What He has in store for you and ordained for you, no man can see, no woman can see, can't nobody stop what's for you. You just got to go get it and make sure you trust Him and build that relationship and that rapport with Him. And send Him some referrals. This is my referral. Go talk to your God. Go know your God. Go love on your God. Love on your God so your God can love on you. And so you can be in a better place and know that even if you don't have nobody to talk to, leave your number. Leave it, you ain't gotta put your name, just leave a number at the bottom and say, hey, I need a word of the day. Just can you and if I see it, I'll get on there. Write the text, man. I feel some way about this, man. I will respond to you. Ding, 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 ding. You ain't gotta leave your name. And if you do. And I will get back to you because sometimes I be feeling like I need somebody to talk to. I just go to my God now. I rather talk to Him. But if anybody feels like y'all going through something that y'all talk to P, y'all can talk to C, man, holla at me. And my ears is always open. My phone rings. If I don't know your number, I ain't gonna answer it. So text it, leave it there, and let me text you first. Let me text you first. let me send you the text like, hey, I'm about to call, or you can call now so I know it's you. But or we can text, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to put that out there, man. We all go through something. If you need help or need to talk to somebody, man, I'm here for you, man. It ain't just no cap, man. This ain't cap. We ain't gonna lie. God put this on my heart to say it to you, so this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a bunch of what you just said is a form of putting God first, you know, trusting God first, thanking God first, recognizing God first, going to God first. That's all forms of putting God first. And then, you know, I was thinking about, you know, when you say put God first, it really ain't no second. It's pretty much it right there. First, foremost, only. You know what I mean?
That's
That's
the end of the sentence.
like you said, no is a full sentence. Well,
Correct. That's a complete sentence as well.
that's a complete sentence period. That it doesn't mean what comes after? You first,
Put
foremost,
God
period,
first. Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah. Amen.
Indeed.
That's what He put on my heart today, bro. That's where I was at today. I've been feeling good, bro. Like
Yeah.
a feeling like, yeah. And this is where I needed to share. I've been feeling good, and I know I've been feeling like crap. Not physically sick or nothing like that, but just drained, beat. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, He'll wash you off, bro, make you feel refreshed, like you just came out through the wash. What they say, well, go in the rinse and come out in the wash, go put it in the wash and then come out in the rinse, whatever. But
Yeah.
it's real, bro. It's real.
Indeed.
I have to share that with you today.
I'm glad you shared it, man. You know what I mean? There's no cap, it's real talk. And you know, it's no cap, it's real talk. And I me personally, just on a personal note, I'm here for it. All of it. This what I'm here. I pray for. Uh this is what I study for. Yeah, man. So this is a beautiful thing. Man, like I was saying, in my members know, like it's not just people think, oh, it's just fitness because like how I look, how my son look, how Amanda look, like how we look, you know, in my family, you know, how we look. They're like, oh, fitness. Oh, so it looked like, oh, I just made fitness is a tool and a vessel that we use, but it's yeah, this is what I do. So yeah, man, I know I know my purpose. I know my purpose, and I thank God for it.
The people liked it. The Kendrick Lamar Drake battle. This. Let's see how many people like it when we start talking about God and putting God first.
Well, whether they like it or not.
I like it. That's what was on my heart today. I like the conversation. It's probably one of my favorite episodes right here, and I ain't even seen it back yet.
Well, I can
Now,
tell you what this episode is going to do. It's going to drop with the full whole thing like the other one in the clips to come. I'm gonna keep it there. I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna drop the clips off the last one. And I'm gonna drop this whole one and start dropping the clips, man.
hey, yeah, we down there almost on season 2, Pete.
I know, basically.
I don't know how many episodes we got. We gonna be on season 2 soon. Shit ain't no season. We just man, we in a minute. I'm gonna have some speakers back here. We're gonna be playing music in
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we gonna
it.
continue to upgrade. Hey, and in like 6 weeks, man, we gonna do one live, man, with us both in the same place. Maybe we'll get a guest to come in or something too. But however, if nothing else, it's gonna be me and your boy, man, and we'll be
Hey
in that.
man, we gonna go old school. We gonna have that old school Jocelyn Hernandez. I'm just playing.
This dude. You gonna have people looking that stuff up. You gonna have people. You gonna
Oh,
have
they
people
took it
going
off.
back and look it up.
They already kicked it off. They already
Oh,
kicked that up. They kicked that off of YouTube, man. They kicked it off like 10 years later. It is what it is. Yeah, man. I'm glad we got on, Peter. This was a dope one.
for
Dope
sure,
one.
man. You know,
Dope one.
always a pleasure and a great thing to get on, speak candidly, give this information, give this game, cleanse, you know, and be honest and transparent. And yeah, man. Thank everybody for watching. Thank everybody for their comments. Thank everybody for subscribing. Thank everybody for sharing. And God first, thank God first for allowing us to
Oh,
do what we do.
hey, dude, somebody told me too that if they share it from the YouTube to whoever you're sending it to, because I think that generates more likes and
Oh yeah,
more views.
yeah. Take the link directly from YouTube when you share it. So when they click it, it brings them to YouTube.
Mm,
Take the
yeah.
YouTube link, hit share from the YouTube page, share the YouTube link. So when they're watching it on YouTube.
Mm. Yeah, somebody had told me that too. So yeah, man, let's get these views up, man, and look, man, help us get up there, man. When we get 1 million viewers, man, we're gonna be on. We ain't even gotta be on TV, man. It's our TV right here.
This is it. And let's clarify something. When we say get more views and help more people, one of my members said she, was like, what y'all doing is huge. It don't matter what the numbers look like right now. It's what y'all
Mm.
doing is big, and the people who is impacting is impact.
Mm.
And
Hello.
so the numbers don't matter, and the numbers will, like you was talking about, planting the seed. The numbers of go grow. They said they see it growing. It's going to grow, but the numbers, the people that you impact and you impact. So just keep doing what y'all doing. The numbers gonna work themselves out. It don't matter what it look
Mm.
like. They
Mm.
watch other stuff and they like, this is part of what they like. Other stuff is getting weeded out. This is something that they gotta watch. And these other people with all these views and all that, no substance don't mean nothing. So y'all numbers, don't worry about the numbers because it's gonna grow with God's purpose like it's supposed to. But in addition to that, when we say growing, it's not that we are, the main reason we want to grow is to reach more people. It's not about like a status thing or like trying to be like, oh, we the big. The main reason that we want to grow is just to reach more people who can identify, get something from, grow with, learn with, make make lifestyle changes and best practices. We just want to reach more people. That's we, with what we're doing, with what we have, with every aspect of it, everything that we do, every part of the conversation, everywhere that it goes, all of it is authentic. We want more people to get that because it ain't a lot of this that exists in this world of internet and all that. It ain't a lot of this right here. So we just want to allow people this experience. This is an experience, unlike most. Right here. And so the reason we want to grow is because we want to reach more people, hopefully teach and expand and their minds in a way that you can see us continuously doing ourselves. We are in practice of achieving everything that we're talking about. So that's the main reason. It's not a vanity thing. It's we want to reach more people, to connect with more people in a way that most people just don't. So,
hey man, it's my dream. It's my dream to think. This is my dream job, and if you enjoy doing what you're doing, and you can get paid for it, it ain't really no job. It's just you enjoy doing what you're doing.
that's the best thing I learned in school. That's the one thing that I learned in school that was worthy.
Enjoy doing what you're doing.
You ain't never got to work a day in your life if you do what you love for a living. That was one of the realest things that was taught in school, probably the only.
Hey, P, I'm gonna mess you up one day because one day I'm gonna be like, P, let's hop on the day. We're gonna go on a 7 day straight. 7 days straight.
I hope you're ready.
Yeah. You're gonna hit me like, bro, we can't do one of them. I'm trying to edit all this shit.
Nah, that shit just ain't gonna be getting edited, but it's gonna be getting recorded. And then it's gonna come like bop, 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 bop.
Hey, because I think let me see what I got. I think we need to get one more in this week. I think we went too much on God today. That was on my heart. But I think we probably can get another one. We're gonna get another one. Matter of fact, I'm finna do a best practice sheet right now. A memo sheet. I'm finna write it down right now. I'm gonna try to get 2 more shows in this week.
There we go.
So I'm gonna try to get 2 more. What's today? Wednesday? Today Tuesday? It's Wednesday now? It's Wednesday now. I'm gonna try to get one in. I'm gonna try to get one in Friday, and I'm gonna try to get one in on Sunday. Friday and Sunday. Yeah. At least I'm gonna try for 2. I'm going to strive for 2. Get rid of that try word. I'm gonna strive for 2, but at least one more is coming for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna strive for that too.
There you go. And strive is
anyway,
the best practice.
That's the best practice. Anyway, man, until the next one, brother.
For sure. I'll see you on the next one, man.
I'll see you on the next one. Yep.